Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global English Talks. I'm Susan, and I'm very happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Mark. We always imagine you sitting with us, maybe drinking coffee or walking outside, just listening and relaxing while your English grows little by little.
Yes, this podcast is not a classroom. It's more like a friendly conversation. We talk about daily life, real situations, and simple English you can hear and use every day.
Our goal is easy listening, no pressure, no difficult explanations, just natural conversations that help your ears understand English in a calm way.
Today, we have a lovely topic. We are talking about hobbies, the small things people do because they enjoy them, not because they have to.
And maybe while you listen, you can also think about your own hobbies. What helps you relax? What makes you forget the time?
By the end of this episode, we hope you feel more confident talking about your interests in English, and maybe even discover a new idea for your free time.
So, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and join us for a friendly chat.
Welcome again to Global English Talks. Let's begin. So, Mark, can I tell you something a little funny? Yesterday evening, I told myself I will rest for 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. I sat on the sofa with my knitting bag next to me.
Oh no, I already know this story. 10 minutes never stays 10 minutes.
Exactly. I started knitting a small blue scarf, and suddenly it was dark outside. 3 hours passed. I didn't even notice. My tea became cold, and my cat was looking at me like, "Are you still doing that?"
That happens to me with model airplanes. Last Sunday morning, I went to my garage at 8 o'clock. The plan was simple, just fix one small wing, very quick.
Let me guess. Lunch disappeared?
Lunch disappeared, afternoon disappeared, even my neighbor knocked on the door around 5 because he thought I was not home. I opened the door covered in glue and paint. He looked very confused.
I love that image. You standing there like a scientist after a big experiment.
Honestly, hobbies do something strange to time. When you enjoy something, the clock feels shy. It hides somewhere.
That's true. And sometimes hobbies are very quiet moments. Last winter, during a rainy Saturday afternoon, I sat near the window and drew small flowers in a notebook. Nothing special, just simple drawings, but I remember feeling very calm.
I think many listeners know that feeling. Maybe someone listening right now cooks on Sundays, or fixes bicycles, or plays video games after work.
Or maybe they don't have a hobby yet. Some people feel tired after work and only scroll on their phone, and that's okay too. Life can be busy.
Yes, but I noticed something interesting. When people talk about hobbies, their voice changes. They smile more. Even shy people suddenly have many words.
That's such a good point. When someone says, "I love gardening," or "I play guitar," the conversation becomes warmer. It's like opening a small window into their personality.
And hobbies are also great for conversations in English. Imagine meeting someone new. You don't need perfect grammar. You can simply ask, "What do you like to do for fun?"
Exactly. It's a simple question, but it opens many stories. Sometimes funny stories, too. Like my friend Anna, who started baking bread during a storm because the electricity went out and she was bored.
Wait, baking during a storm sounds brave.
She said the thunder was loud, but the smell of fresh bread made everything feel safe. I always remember that.
That's a beautiful image. And maybe today's conversation will help listeners talk about moments like that. Small hobbies, small joys, big stories.
Yes, because hobbies are not only about activities, they are about how people live their everyday lives. And that's where real language happens. So today we are talking about hobbies. Not in a serious or complicated way, just like friends talking at a table, because hobbies are everywhere in daily life.
Yes, and many English learners tell us something interesting. They know grammar, they know vocabulary, but when someone asks, "What do you like to do for fun?" they suddenly feel nervous.
I understand that feeling. It's not only about words, it's about sharing something personal. When you talk about hobbies, you show a little piece of who you are.
Exactly, and hobbies are also great for conversations in English. Imagine meeting someone new. You don't need perfect grammar. You can simply ask, "What do you like to do for fun?"
Exactly. It's a simple question, but it opens many stories. Sometimes funny stories, too, like my friend Anna, who started baking bread during a storm because the electricity went out and she was bored.
Wait, baking during a storm sounds brave.
She said the thunder was loud, but the smell of fresh bread made everything feel safe. I always remember that.
That's a beautiful image, and maybe today's conversation will help listeners talk about moments like that. Small hobbies, small joys, big stories.
Yes, because hobbies are not only about activities, they are about how people live their everyday lives. And that's where real language happens. So today we are talking about hobbies, not in a serious or complicated way, just like friends talking at a table, because hobbies are everywhere in daily life.
Yes, and many English learners tell us something interesting. They know grammar, they know vocabulary, but when someone asks, "What do you like to do for fun?" they suddenly feel nervous.
I understand that feeling. It's not only about words, it's about sharing something personal. When you talk about hobbies, you show a little piece of who you are.
Exactly, and hobbies are also great for conversations in English. Imagine meeting someone new. You don't need perfect grammar. You can simply ask, "What do you like to do for fun?"
Exactly. It's a simple question, but it opens many stories. Sometimes funny stories, too. Like my friend Anna, who started baking bread during a storm because the electricity went out and she was bored.
Wait, baking during a storm sounds brave.
She said the thunder was loud, but the smell of fresh bread made everything feel safe. I always remember that.
That's a beautiful image, and maybe today's conversation will help listeners talk about moments like that. Small hobbies, small joys, big stories.
Yes, because hobbies are not only about activities, they are about how people live their everyday lives. And that's where real language happens. So today we are talking about hobbies, not in a serious or complicated way, just like friends talking at a table, because hobbies are everywhere in daily life.
Yes, and many English learners tell us something interesting. They know grammar, they know vocabulary, but when someone asks, "What do you like to do for fun?" they suddenly feel nervous.
I understand that feeling. It's not only about words, it's about sharing something personal. When you talk about hobbies, you show a little piece of who you are.
Exactly, and hobbies are also great for conversations in English. Imagine meeting someone new. You don't need perfect grammar. You can simply ask, "What do you like to do for fun?"
Exactly. It's a simple question, but it opens many stories. Sometimes funny stories, too. Like my friend Anna, who started baking bread during a storm because the electricity went out and she was bored.
Wait, baking during a storm sounds brave.
She said the thunder was loud, but the smell of fresh bread made everything feel safe. I always remember that.
That's a beautiful image, and maybe today's conversation will help listeners talk about moments like that. Small hobbies, small joys, big stories.
Yes, because hobbies are not only about activities, they are about how people live their everyday lives. And that's where real language happens. And that's a lovely way to say it. I remember one evening last spring. It was around 7 o'clock. I sat at my kitchen table after a long day. The sink was full of dishes. My phone had many messages. I felt tired.
That sounds very familiar already.
Instead of cleaning everything, I opened a puzzle box. Just a simple puzzle with a picture of a lake. I told myself, only 5 minutes. But slowly, my shoulders relaxed. The noise in my head became quiet.
That is a perfect example. The puzzle did not change your life, you didn't earn money, you didn't solve a big problem, but you felt better.
Yes, and that is the point. A hobby gives energy instead of taking energy.
Some hobbies are active, like cycling or dancing. Others are calm, like reading, cooking, or building small models. Both are hobbies if they bring enjoyment.
And hobbies also change during life. When I was younger, I loved learning new recipes every weekend. Now, sometimes my favorite hobby is simply walking slowly in the park and watching people.
I understand that. 10 years ago, I played basketball every Friday night with friends in a small gym near my apartment. The floor was noisy and the lights were too bright, but we laughed a lot.
Do you still play?
Not really. My knees say no. Now my hobby is repairing old radios. Very quiet, very slow. My younger self would be surprised.
That's beautiful, though. A hobby grows with you. It follows your life like a friendly shadow.
And listeners should remember this. You don't need talent to have a hobby. You don't need expensive tools. Even watering plants on a balcony can be a hobby.
Yes, if it gives you a small moment of joy, curiosity, or calm, it counts. That's simple. Mark, can I share an image that came to my mind when we prepared this episode?
Please do. I always enjoy your images. They usually make me hungry or thoughtful.
This one might do both. Imagine a small kitchen late at night. The lights are soft, outside, the street is quiet. Someone opens the refrigerator because they feel a little restless. Not hungry exactly, just tired in the heart.
I already know that feeling. Standing there looking inside the fridge like it has answers to life.
Yes. Inside the fridge, there are many ingredients. Vegetables, cheese, maybe leftover rice. Nothing special alone. But then the person decides to cook something small. Not a big dinner, just a simple soup.
Okay, I'm listening carefully now.
They cut vegetables slowly. The knife makes a soft sound on the board. Water starts to boil, steam rises, and while waiting, their breathing becomes calm. The kitchen smells warm. Nothing dramatic happened, but something inside changed.
That is a beautiful scene, and I think I understand where you were going.
A hobby is like that small soup at midnight. Life gives us many ingredients every day. Stress, work, noise, responsibilities. But a hobby lets us take those moments and turn them into something warm and personal.
I love that, because hobbies are not always about big excitement. Sometimes they're about gentle repair, like fixing small cracks you cannot see.
Exactly. When you draw, garden, play music, or even organize old photos, you are slowly cooking emotional comfort.
I remember a rainy Thursday 2 years ago, around 6 in the evening. Traffic was terrible. I arrived home frustrated, my shirt was wet, my mood was worse.
Oh no.
Instead of watching television, I went to the garage and started sanding a wooden airplane wing. The sound was soft, dust everywhere. After 20 minutes, I noticed something strange. I was smiling.
Nothing outside changed, but inside changed.
Yes, the hobby did not remove my problems, but it gave my mind a chair to sit down for a moment.
That's powerful. And listeners, maybe your hobby is not cooking or building airplanes. Maybe it is learning English itself.
That's true. Listening to podcasts, repeating sentences, writing small notes. These can also be hobbies if you enjoy the process.
Because hobbies are not about results. They are about the feeling while you are doing them, like standing in a warm kitchen while the soup slowly becomes ready.
And sometimes that small, warm moment is exactly what we need to continue the rest of the week.
All right, Mark. Now I think many listeners are asking a quiet question. Okay, hobbies sound nice, but how do I actually start, or how do I enjoy them more?
Yes, because real life is busy. People finish work, feel tired, and suddenly the sofa looks very powerful.
The sofa has strong energy. I respect it very much.
Me too, especially after a long Monday. But let's talk about the first idea. I noticed hobbies become easier when people start very small.
That's true. A listener once wrote to us from Lisbon. She said she wanted a hobby, but imagined something big, like learning piano perfectly. She felt afraid to begin.
That happens a lot. People wait for motivation or free time that never arrives.
Exactly. One evening at 9 o'clock, she decided to draw for only 5 minutes at her kitchen table. Just a pencil and a notebook. She drew a cup of coffee. It looked a little funny, she said.
But she started.
Yes. After 1 week, those 5 minutes became 15. She told us the best part was not the drawing. It was the feeling of choosing something for herself.
I like that. A hobby grows like a small plant. You don't pour a bucket of water on the first day, just a little each time.
So, tip 1 is simple. Start small enough that your brain says yes. Not tomorrow, not next month. Today.
And tip 2 is something I learned the hard way. Don't compare your hobby to someone else's hobby.
Oh, that's important.
Last summer, I visited a park near the river around 4 in the afternoon. A young man was playing guitar on a bench. Beautiful music. People stopped to listen.
That sounds magical.
I went home and tried to learn guitar again. After 10 minutes, my fingers hurt. The sound was terrible. I almost quit immediately.
I can imagine your neighbors being nervous.
Very nervous. But then I remembered something. That young man probably practiced for years. My hobby does not need to sound perfect to be valuable.
Yes, a hobby is private joy, not a competition.
Exactly. If you enjoy baking simple cookies, you don't need a bakery Instagram account.
Tip 3 is about permission. Many adults feel guilty doing hobbies.
Oh yes, they think I should clean or I should work more.
I remember a Tuesday morning during winter. Snow outside. My neighbor Clara sat by the window reading a mystery novel. She told me she almost stopped because laundry was waiting.
Let me guess, the laundry survived.
It did. And she said those 30 minutes of reading made her kinder during the whole day. Sometimes hobbies help other people too, because you become calmer.
That's powerful. Giving yourself permission is not selfish, it is maintenance.
Exactly, like charging your phone before it turns off.
And tip 4 is something simple but surprising. Talk about your hobby with other people.
Yes, language grows when we share stories.
A listener from Seoul told me he joined a small online group about photography. Every Saturday morning they shared one photo and described it in English.
That's such a good idea.
He said his English improved because he wanted to explain feelings. The light was soft, the street felt lonely. Real language.
And hobbies give you endless conversation topics. You never run out of things to say.
So hobbies are not only about relaxing, they also open doors, new friends, new words, new confidence.
Small steps, no comparison, permission to enjoy, and sharing with others. That already sounds like a very good beginning. Mark, I want to talk about something people rarely say out loud. Sometimes hobbies stop, not because we don't like them anymore, but because we feel tired.
Yes, and many people think stopping means failure. They say, I lost motivation or I am lazy.
But rest is not the enemy of hobbies. Rest is part of them. I learned this during a very busy autumn a few years ago. Every evening, I tried to knit because it usually relaxed me. But one night, around 10 o'clock, I noticed my hands felt heavy.
Like your body was saying, please sit down.
Exactly. The yarn kept falling from my hands. I felt annoyed with myself. Then I realized something simple. I didn't need knitting that night. I needed sleep.
That is such an honest moment. Sometimes we try to use hobbies like medicine for everything.
Yes, but imagine a small garden. If you water the plants every hour, they don't grow faster, they drown.
That image is perfect. Rest is like sunlight between the watering. Without space, nothing breathes.
I remember a listener who wrote to us from Buenos Aires. He loved running every morning before work, 5 kilometers near the river at sunrise.
That sounds beautiful already.
One month, he pushed too hard, faster pace, longer distance, every day. Suddenly, his legs hurt, and he stopped completely for 2 weeks. He felt very sad.
I know that feeling from basketball. When your body says no, your mind feels frustrated.
After resting, he returned slowly, short walks first, then light jogging. He told us something interesting. He enjoyed running more after the break.
Because absence changes perspective, like music sounds sweeter after silence.
Exactly. And this also helps English learning. Some listeners feel guilty if they miss a day of listening practice.
But your brain needs quiet moments too. Imagine reading messages all day without closing your eyes. Eventually, nothing makes sense.
Sometimes the best learning happens when you are cooking dinner or walking outside and suddenly remember a word you heard yesterday.
That happened to me last week. I heard a Spanish phrase months ago. While fixing a radio in my garage, it suddenly came back to me perfectly.
Because your brain was relaxed.
Yes, rest gave space for memory to organize itself.
So, listeners, if you stop a hobby for a few days, don't panic. You're not losing it.
You might actually be preparing to enjoy it again.
like closing a book gently before the next chapter.
Exactly. Rest is not wasting time. Sometimes it is the quiet part that makes the story continue.
All right, Mark, it's time for one of my favorite parts of the episode, our tiny word tour.
I love this moment too. Small words, big confidence.
Today's first word is hobby.
A hobby is an activity you do for enjoyment in your free time. You choose it because you like it, not because you must do it. For example, you can say, "My hobby is gardening. I water my plants every evening after dinner." This word matters because people often ask about hobbies when meeting someone new. It helps conversations start naturally.
That's very clear. Our next word is relax.
Relax means to become calm in your body or mind. It is the opposite of stress or tension. You might say, "I listen to music to relax after work." This word is important because hobbies are often connected to feeling peaceful. When you know this word, you can explain why you enjoy something.
I like that one. The third word is practice.
Practice means doing something again and again to improve or feel more comfortable. For example, I practice English every morning while drinking coffee. This matters because hobbies and learning both grow through repetition. It helps you explain effort without sounding serious or stressful.
Very nice. The fourth word is free time.
Free time is the part of your day when you are not working or studying. You control how you use it. A simple sentence is, "In my free time, I like walking near the lake." This phrase is useful because many conversations begin exactly this way. People want to know how you spend your life outside responsibilities.
Yes, that question appears everywhere. Next word is enjoy.
Enjoy means you feel pleasure or happiness while doing something. You can say, "I enjoy cooking with my family on Sundays." This word matters because it sounds warm and positive. Instead of only saying, "I like," you can show stronger emotion and personality.
I love that difference. And our last word today is improve.
Improve means to become better little by little. For example, "I want to improve my English listening skills." This word matters because hobbies and learning often grow slowly. It helps you talk about progress without pressure. You don't need perfection, just small steps forward.
That was such a lovely group of words, simple but very powerful in real conversations.
Yes, with just these words, listeners can already describe many hobbies and feelings in English.
All right, listeners, now we have a small invitation for you. Not homework, not pressure, just a mini challenge.
Yes, something you can try today or tomorrow, maybe even while listening again later.
Imagine a quiet moment. Maybe you are on a bus, maybe washing dishes, maybe walking home after work. Ask yourself one simple question. What do I enjoy doing when nobody is asking anything from me?
I like that question because it removes expectations. No audience, no performance, just you.
Some people immediately think of something. Cooking, gaming, drawing, playing football. Others feel blank at first.
And that's okay. I remember a winter evening years ago, around 8 o'clock. Snow outside my apartment window. I sat at the table trying to answer this same question.
What happened?
Nothing came to my mind. I felt a little embarrassed, like I forgot how to enjoy free time. So I made tea and opened an old box from my closet.
That sounds mysterious already.
Inside were small screws, wires, and pieces from broken radios I saved years before. I started touching them, organizing them slowly. Suddenly I realized, oh, I like fixing things.
That's such a beautiful discovery moment.
Yes, sometimes hobbies are not loud. They whisper. You only hear them when life becomes quiet.
So here's the challenge. Choose one hobby you already love or one small thing you are curious about.
Then talk about it in English, out loud, even if you are alone.
You can say simple sentences. I enjoy cooking pasta. I like walking at night. My hobby is photography.
Don't worry about mistakes. Imagine you were explaining it to a friendly person on a train.
If you want, record yourself on your phone. Listen later. You may notice your English sounds better than you think.
And if you feel brave, tell a friend or write a short message online about your hobby in English.
The goal is not perfection. The goal is connection between your life and the language.
Because when English talks about something you truly enjoy, it stops feeling like study. It starts feeling like conversation.
All right, Mark. Let's make things very practical now. Many listeners enjoy ideas they can use today, not someday.
Yes, big plans sound exciting, but small actions actually change habits. So let's imagine someone listening while making coffee or driving home. What can they really do after this episode?
First step is very simple. Choose a hobby moment, not a long one, maybe 10 minutes, after dinner, before bed, or even during lunch break.
I like that because 10 minutes feels friendly. Last Tuesday, I repaired a tiny radio button while waiting for pasta to cook. Water boiling, sauce heating, perfect timing.
Exactly. You don't need a special schedule. Life already gives small empty spaces.
Second step is about language. Describe what you are doing in English while you do it.
Yes, if you are cooking, you can say quietly, I am cutting vegetables. If you are walking, say, I am walking slowly because the weather is nice.
It may feel funny at first. My neighbor once saw me talking to myself while sanding wood in the garage. He looked worried.
Maybe he thought you were giving a speech to the airplane.
Honestly, maybe I was, but speaking aloud helps your brain connect action and language together.
Third step is listening again. Choose one short part of this episode or another English podcast and listen twice.
The first time, just relax. The second time, notice small phrases, maybe one sentence you want to use.
I sometimes repeat sentences while washing dishes. The sound of water hides my pronunciation mistakes.
That is a professional strategy right there.
And the fourth step is sharing. Tell someone about your hobby in English this week.
It can be a friend online, a language partner, or even writing a comment under a video.
One listener told me she wrote, I enjoy painting sunsets under a photography post. 3 people answered her. Suddenly, she had a conversation.
That's the magic. Language grows when it meets other people.
Small hobby time, speak while doing it, listen again, and share your story.
4 simple steps. Nothing heavy, just small doors opening during your day.
Mark, I always enjoy this moment near the end of our episode. It feels like slowly closing a notebook after a good conversation.
Yes, not closing quickly, just gently, so the ideas stay with us a little longer.
Today, we talked about hobbies, not as something impressive or expensive, but as small moments people choose for themselves.
We said a hobby can be simple, cooking soup late at night, fixing something broken, drawing in a notebook near a window.
We also learned that hobbies don't need perfection. Starting small is enough. 5 or 10 minutes can already change how your day feels.
In comparison is not helpful. Someone else may play guitar beautifully, but your quiet reading time or short evening walk is just as valuable.
We also spoke about permission. Adults sometimes forget they are allowed to enjoy things without feeling guilty.
Yes, hobbies recharge energy. They make conversations warmer. They even help language learning because you have real stories to share.
And we remembered something important. Rest is part of the process. Taking breaks does not mean losing progress.
Then we explored useful words like hobby, relax, practice, free time, enjoy, and improve. Simple words that open many conversations.
And finally, we invited you to try small actions. Speak about your hobby in English, listen again, share your interests with someone.
Because English becomes stronger when it connects to real life, not only textbooks.
If you remember only one thing today, maybe let it be this. Your daily life already has stories worth telling.
And your English grows every time you tell one of those stories, even in simple sentences.
And now it's time to say goodbye for today. Honestly, this conversation made me want to go home and open my knitting bag again.
And I suddenly want to visit my garage and check if my airplane wing is still waiting for me. I think hobbies get jealous when we ignore them too long.
Maybe they do. Dear listeners, thank you for spending this time with us today. Whether you are walking, cooking, studying, or resting, we are very happy you joined Global English Talks today.
Remember, learning English does not need to feel heavy. Little by little, through real conversations, your listening becomes stronger without stress.
If this episode helped you relax or gave you new ideas, follow Global English Talks so you can join us again next time.
And if you know someone learning English, share this episode with them. Sometimes one friendly conversation can give someone confidence to keep going.
This week, notice your hobbies, even the small ones. Maybe a quiet cup of tea, maybe music in the evening, maybe practicing English with us.
And try talking about it. Simple sentences are enough. Your voice matters more than perfect grammar.
We believe in slow progress, warm conversations, and learning that fits inside real life.
Take care of yourself. Be curious. And don't forget to enjoy the small moments between busy hours.
I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mark.
Thank you for listening.
See you next time on Global English Talks.